We begin CBS 2 News with breaking news at this hour. Firefighters right now trying to get a handle on that fast-moving fire in the Antelope Valley.
And Sky 2 is live over the scene right now. The stone fire started around 12:30 this afternoon, and it quickly spread.
So here's the latest at this hour. The fire has burned between 900 and 1,000 acres. It is at 0% containment. And thankfully, no one has been injured. And our team coverage begins with Stu Mundell. He joins us live from Sky 2 with more on this fire. Stu?
Well, you can see there's only one little hot spot left out here in the Agua Dulce area. Now, they're saying it's almost 1,000 acres has burned out here. This has been a joint effort in the air and on the ground by LA County Fire, Cal Fire, and, of course, the Forest Service as well. They've had 6 helicopters out here dropping water, and then also 6 fixed wings dropping those red lines that we see, the Phos-Check, the flame retardant. Right now, though, the fire does seem almost out, but the official word from the guys on the ground, the people that know, say 0% containment. That's what it looks like. It started earlier this afternoon. It's going to be north of Agua Dulce, south of the Palmdale area. A lot of concerns have been for the 14 freeway. People worried about coming home this afternoon. The 14 freeway not affected. Sierra Highway, though, is closed in a couple of spots where they escort you through, but they're frowning on people coming through to use the Sierra Highway as a throughway. Right now, though, they're saying no structures have been damaged, no firefighters have been injured, and what we're showing you right here seems to be the last of the fire that we can see from Sky 2. Live over Agua Dulce, I'm Stu Mundell. Back to you two in the studio.
And we'll continue on the stone fire. CBS 2's Greg Mills is on the ground in Agua Dulce.
That's right. He's right there. He has the very latest as firefighters try to keep this from spreading. Greg.
And Pat and Jeff, as you can tell, well, Stu was just talking about this fire and the one spot where it's kind of hot or just sparked back up. We're going to show it to you from the ground right there. And just to give you a locator, we are north of Sierra Highway, and that what you're looking at right there is probably about 4 miles north of Sierra Highway. We're next to Anthony Road, which has been shut down, closed down, except for residents over the last few hours, and they were busy having to get their horses out when they were told to evacuate. But we're on a ranch where some people have chosen to stay, but they say these fires hit about every other year, so they're kind of used to this. Hot, dry, windy day in the high desert. Perfect conditions for this. This is horse country. The fire heading this way.
They were telling me to get out, but we had to get my horses out, and it was right up against the dirt by my driveway. Cheyenne
Witham was in Acton and got the call to get home now. The fire heading this way, steep terrain hitting this fire from the air, and a dozer got right up next to the flames, cutting a new break. Meanwhile, people living here, it's grab and go quickly.
It's really scary. I had to grab my graduation stuff. I grabbed my tassel and everything. I had to grab family pictures, and it's just hard because it comes out of nowhere and no one expects it.
This fire, the stone fire in Agua Dulce, hit this area hard and quickly grew to 200 acres. This is ranch country. Horses were loaded up and headed away from danger. Witham couldn't put her horse Annie in a trailer. Annie broke her hip last winter.
It's hard for her even to walk. She can't step up on a trailer.
So her best friend Stacy Corey grabbed Annie, and Witham grabbed Thule.
So at the time, with the fire getting as close as it was, and you could literally see it within those bushes over there, it was just get them out. So we just started walking them down.
People come together and they help you, and that's the best feeling in the world.
Certainly is. We're checking out this helicopter, waiting for him to drop. He's gone over it like 3 times in a row, hasn't dropped, and is circling around right now. As for the horses, we are on a ranch, Pat and Jeff, and these people have just 3 horses, but they also have 3 kids. They can get the kids gathered up and out of here in a hurry. They said 3 horses take about 5 minutes and they will leave, but they've been keeping an eye on this fire, which is just north of here, just north of Sierra Highway. Back to you two.
Good news there from Greg Mills tonight at the stone fire.
Well, you could see how windy it is with Greg's hair blowing in the wind out there.
Absolutely. Well, we do have CBS 2's Garth Kemp, who is tracking the hot weather and the conditions that those firefighters are now facing. There's a little bit of heat out there, isn't there?
Yeah, it's about 88 degrees up in Acton right now. We're picking up winds there at around 18 miles an hour. Just a little farther away from that, you can see southwest winds at around 22 miles an hour, 14% humidity up in Lancaster. That's nothing surprising. We get very low humidity, obviously, up into the high deserts. It's about 22% over by the Acton and Agua Dulce area right now. So those winds are onshore for us. They're going to lessen as we make our way through the evening hours. It's been warm out there, not as hot as it can get, but you can see that's allowed the firefighters to get their handles on it fairly well. You can watch the smoke. It gets blown, nothing too strong. What I'm seeing, Greg, when you're seeing his hair blow like that, that's a good 15 to 20 mile an hour wind on average in between there. Like I said, when we get these onshore push, that's what we pick up. You can see Lancaster, even Apple Valley at around 22 miles an hour. You can see the onshore push, though, that continues on. We'll see these winds start to subside just a little bit tonight. We stay onshore. We'll tell you all about that. Have the whole week forecast. Pat, welcome back, by the way. That's coming up in just a little bit.
Thank you, Garth. I missed you too.
All right.
Okay. Well, breaking news now. After months of anticipation, L.A. has a new top cop.
Longtime veteran Michael Moore has just been named the new chief of the LAPD.
Nice man, too. CBS2's Dave Lopez is live at City Hall, where Mayor Garcetti just wrapped up the announcement. Dave?
Well, according to both the mayor and the new chief, Michael Moore, the call came in sometime this morning. Now, the new chief, Michael Moore, said he got the call this morning. If he knew what time it was, he wouldn't say. When the mayor was asked to be more specific, he said, I made the call this morning. It was a long decision. The mayor took almost a month after he was given the top three names, the other ones being Robert Arcos and Bill Scott, who currently is the chief of San Francisco. Now, both were longtime LAPD members, as is Michael Moore. He's been there for 36 years. He's 57 years of age. No secret he wanted to be a chief. He was the #1 candidate when they chose Charlie Beck 8 years ago. He was a finalist, runner-up in the Dallas PD job to be the chief, and a runner-up in San Diego. So when I asked him today, how disappointed would he have been had he not gotten the job this time, he responded this way.
I would have been disappointed, but not surprised. The other two candidates, as I said earlier, both these men are tremendous leaders. From a group of the 5 nominees or 6 that the commission looked and examined, each of them are proven and accomplished leaders. So severely disappointed, but certainly not surprised. When the mayor called me today, it is one of those moments that I'll always remember, because up to that very point, I did not really know.
Moore made it very clear. It was his lifelong ambition to be a chief one day. The mayor praised the other 2 candidates, in particular, Robert Arcos.
Bobby Arcos will be an amazing chief one day, whether it's here or in another city. Bill Scott already is an incredible chief.
Chief, by being here, does this mean that he was your choice to replace you?
He was the mayor's choice. And in that, he is my choice. You know, the mayor and I talked a lot about it. I know all 3 of the candidates. I will never tell you which one I recommended to him because that is something, as I always do, that is a conversation between me and my boss, not between me and anybody else. But I will say this, I couldn't be happier about this selection.
The last day for Chief Beck is on June 27th. He was asked if maybe he'll leave earlier, and he said, I will be sworn, the new chief will be sworn in on the 27th. Now, they have been very close friends, the chief and Mr. Moore, and it is a very, very, it wasn't a surprising decision. I have somebody over here bothering me on my right shoulder. Hopefully he doesn't come over to me, but I'm going to wrap this up very quickly. Again, Moore is now the new chief. He says that he knows he has a very difficult job ahead of him. He's looking forward to it with great anticipation. He actually had tears in his eyes at one point as he thanked his daughter, his #1 fan, as he put it, and he gave his wife a big hug and a kiss, saying she also has been inspirational. Michael Moore, the other interesting thing about Chief Moore, he actually retired. He was going to retire and call it quits from the LAPD, but under a special program, he was brought back. The man who brought him back, Charlie Beck. Back to you.
That's a great story there, Dave. Thank you. Well, more than 24 people want to be California's next governor, and by tomorrow night, only the top 2 will matter.
Yeah, that's one of the several big races that will change the face of the state come November. We do have team coverage of this ahead of tomorrow's election, including political reporter Dave Bryan with a look at those congressional races today.
But we begin with CBS2's Adriana Weingold with the last-minute stopping by those fighting to take Governor Brown's seat. Adriana.
Well, it is the last hours of this campaign, and the candidates are doing everything they can to make sure they get every last vote possible.
1,
From San Pedro to San Diego, it was a whirlwind weekend for the gubernatorial candidates in California. Lieutenant Governor Gavin Newsom, Antonio Villaraigosa, and John Cox spent the final day before the election pounding the pavement. Democratic frontrunner Lieutenant Governor Gavin Newsom spent the afternoon in San Diego, where he hosted his final Get Out the Vote rally, saying he will stand up to President Trump if necessary to protect California.
Wants to support our economic growth in this state and celebrate the ingenuity and innovative spirit of the state, we'll of course welcome him with open hands. But if he wants to, expand offshore oil drilling, if he wants to come in and deny California's leadership on environmental stewardship, we'll push back.
Republican John Cox was endorsed by President Trump a couple of weeks ago and since then has seen a surge in the polls. The San Diego area businessman spent the day in his hometown casting an early ballot at the registrar of voters.
I think the politicians in Sacramento are creating a war with Washington because they don't want people focusing on what they've made a mess of in Sacramento and in this state.
Antonio Villaraigosa brought his family on the campaign trail. He spoke about the greatest challenges California faces.
The housing crisis is challenge number one, the homelessness crisis, and the challenge of creating middle-class jobs.
The top two candidates will advance to the November general election regardless of party. Other candidates include Republican Assemblyman Travis Allen and Democratic candidates State Treasurer John Chung and former State Superintendent of Public Instruction Delane Easton. There are 27 candidates competing to fill an empty seat left by Jerry Brown because of term limits. Back to you.
Well, the candidates for governor aren't the only ones pressing the flesh.
No, congressional candidates in close races are working overtime tonight as well. And CBS2 political reporter Dave Ryan is here now with more on one of the most hotly contested races in the country.
So why do we care about these congressional races? Well, the outcomes here in California could have a huge impact on which party controls Congress next year. After 3 decades in Congress, Orange County Republican Dana Rohrabacher is facing his most difficult re-election campaign. 16 candidates are running in California's 48th congressional district, and only 2 of them will live to fight another day in a primary with national implications.
Because Rohrabacher can't defend his failed 30-year record in Congress.
Under fire from Democrats and Republicans like never before, Huntington Beach Congressman Dana Rohrabacher, a 30-year incumbent in a solid red district which is now trending blue, is fighting for his political life. And one of his leading opponents is a fellow Republican, former Orange County GOP Chairman Scott Baugh, and the TV ad attacks are vicious.
Politician Scott Baugh, Washington's so corrupt, he'd fit right in.
He's made lots of money as a lobbyist all these years. However, I think that I represent the values and the policies that my people believe in, and so I'm very confident in this election.
This is a Republican seat. It'll be a Republican seat, and I fully anticipate that Dana Rohrabacher and I will be in the general election facing off against each other.
Orange County Democrats believe this is their year in the 48th district.
Our district has been declared the most likely district to flip to blue in all of California.
Dana Rohrabacher's been here 30 years, and he's passed 3 pieces of legislation in those 30 years.
Rohrabacher has come under fire for his questionable ties to Russia. But while Rohrabacher may be vulnerable, the Democrats have their own bitter battle going on that could split the blue vote in the Tuesday primary. The state Democratic Party endorsed Dr. Hans Kierstead, but the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee has endorsed Harley Ruda. Now, one of the other tight congressional races is in the 25th district, which includes Santa Clarita, Simi Valley, Palmdale, and Lancaster. It stretches across northern LA County into a little piece of Ventura County. Republican Congressman Steve Knight is fighting 4 Democrats in the primary, and only the top 2 finishers once again will go on to November. It's another Southern California race which could impact the balance of power in the House next year. Jeff, back to you.
We'll certainly be on top of that, and I know you will be as well, Dave, tomorrow.
Thank you.
Yeah, for more information on tomorrow's elections, you can visit our website at cbsla.com. Now to dramatic images out of Guatemala, where a volcano eruption turns deadly as people run for their lives.
Plus, the Supreme Court rules in favor of a baker who refused to make a cake for a same-sex wedding. Will the ruling allow others to say no?
Also, annual passes at Disney about to change, the new blackout dates and policies coming up.